What's up, everybody? I apologize for not doing any deep web stuff lately, but a lot of people have been asking me, and this is true, a lot of people have been asking me about this bath salt zombie that happened years ago. Everybody knows you should know what I'm talking about. I started to dig into it, knowing me, but it gets a little bit deeper than that. The toxicology report in the coroner shows there was no drugs in this system, yet they went from bad LSD, a new LSD strain, to bath salts. Doesn't make any sense. What I'm going to tell you is what led up to that, and I'm going to put a video in here too. There was a drum filled with a toxic chemical that came up in the intercoastal of Hollywood, Los Angeles, California, and it was about a 55-gallon drum, more than one of them, just washed up out of nowhere, and I blame it on the CDC. And the immediate area was evacuated, traffic was shut down, the solution began to bubble and boiling into a fire, and it took hazmat people to neutralize it, and they picked it up and escorted it to a waste management facility in Davie on Monday. Then they came back to clean up the mess. This was Wednesday, 5/16/2012, and MacArthur High School students were quarantined because they came back with some sort of rash. All right, and when they came back, I guess they were ditching school or something. It was a couple hours ago after they came back. They started itching and had redness on their skin, and it started to spread like wildfire. It just started to fucking spread. All right, and the whole school was fucking quarantined. The whole fucking school was quarantined. It spread that fast. Alright? And many students have been taken into the gym for God knows what, not being released. So, even though I know my parents are coming up, they weren't allowed to visit them. They wasn't allowed to, to see or even speak to them, even know what happened. So, of course, parents became frustrated and wanted to know what was going on with the kid. And they thought it was some kind of bug or anything. This is 5/16 later on that day. A woman got burned by fucking beach rocks. Beach rocks that she was collecting. She suffered 2nd to 3rd degree burns from these rocks. Alright? From the same fucking ocean from where the barrels came up. Now, what does that tell you? Or what should it tell you? Okay? When she tried to get the rocks out of her pocket, she suffered 2nd to 3rd degree burns. So did the husband. And on Sunday of 5/27, same year, the bath salt zombie came out. Alright? This is just too coincidental. Too fucking coincidental. Now, I'm not saying this isn't a conspiracy or anything. Just think for a moment. A lot of shit comes from Plum Island or Long Island, that, like that, it looked like a fucking dog, like years ago. I don't know if you remember that. And guys in black, like government hazmat suits, took it away, and nobody knows what happened to it. So think about it. If something was CDC has the fucking Ebola virus, the flu virus, the Black Plague, every fucking strain of viruses in the fucking world that comes from plants, airborne, bloodborne, that's fluid-borne. They have all of that in that facility. Now, who says they're not? What's to say they're not researching and work up a new strain to release a new virus to citizens, and that one citizen got accepted as the host, and it drew him crazy. Just think about it. It came from an itch on the students. Okay, obviously it got cured. So, what if this person got it, didn't know anything about it, and it took over him? What's creepy about it is, when the officer first shot him, the initial shot had no effect. He had to repeatedly shoot him 4 fucking times. And the police say that he was literally eating his flesh. Not just ripping it off or anything like that. Literally swallowing his face. This is from what I dug up. And there's 4 more accounts that we don't even know about. 4 similar cases in the same county. And of course, you have somebody higher, of a higher power, okay, that tells you it's this, it's that. I don't care what the facts say, this is what it is. You must tell the people this. If I'm right, we need to do something. Get prepared. I mean, think about it. They're getting superhuman strength when they have whatever it is they fucking made, or whatever washed up on fucking shore. One incident, 15 officers to take down one. Watch this video and tell me what you think.
The cause, a dangerous discovery, a drum filled with a toxic chemical washing ashore on the Intercoastal.
19's Mike Mars alive for us in Hollywood to bring us this story. Mike?
Guys, what a headache, but the good news here is that it is finally over. A1A back open, that barrel, that drum of chemicals, it's out of here. The bad stuff gone. Blame this 55-gallon drum that washed up on Hollywood Beach. Inside, some unknown chemical. The immediate area evacuated, traffic shut down. The solution began to bubble, nearly boiling into a fire. So hazmat officials neutralized the chemical in a solution. That means they made it safe to move. Hazmat units escorted it to a waste management facility in Davie late Monday. Guys in protective suits came back out to the scene to clean up the mess. The road is back open.
Developing right now, MacArthur High School in Hollywood is on lockdown after more than a dozen students and a teacher are infected with some sort of rash.
Any minute they're going to be transporting some kids to the hospital. Now what we understand is this all happened just a couple of hours ago at the school. Kids began itching, they had redness on their skin, and that's when they called 911. So at this point, the rest of the students, we understand many of the students have been taken into the gym in school. They're not allowing any other student to leave the school right now, not allowing any parents in. A number of parents are showing up because they got concerned when they saw the fire trucks and the police activity. Not much information is coming out of the school. Some parents are frustrated. We just talked to one parent. This is an unconfirmed report that perhaps it was some type of bug or mud.
Day at the beach, and a woman's children picked up some rocks. The mother put them in her pocket, and several hours later, they caught fire. The story you'll see only on Eyewitness News. Orange County Bureau Chief Eileen Fair is live outside of Santa Ana Hospital, where that woman is recovering from some serious burns. Eileen?
And Ellen, authorities say that the woman suffered second and third degree burns to her right leg. She also burned her hand as she was trying to get the rocks out of her pocket. Her husband also suffered first and second degree burns to his hand as he was trying to help his wife.
Right now, new at 11 for you, new information on that horrific attack by the MacArthur Causeway. Police were forced to open fire on a naked man who refused to stop chewing the face off of another man. We look into what could have caused this attack, and we have new details on just how much of the victim's face was literally bitten off. CBS 4's Tiffany Helberg spoke to a police officer who was at the crime scene. She joins us live from Miami. And Tiffany, the officer believes the man clearly was on some very, very powerful drugs.
That's right, Cynthia. The Fraternal Order of Police president tells me this crop of LSD is a major threat to police officers as well as the rest of us. He says it turns normal people into monsters that possess this superhuman strength and no ability to feel pain. He believes that's what was behind the incident that unfolded here Saturday in broad daylight just off the MacArthur Causeway exit right next to the Miami Herald, and it was the Herald's surveillance video that caught much of it on tape. Now, we want to warn you, much of the details you're about to hear are disturbing and gruesome.
It totally horrified me. This was probably my 30 years as a police officer, the nastiest, most horrific incident I've ever seen.
An incident partially caught on camera by Miami Herald surveillance. Fraternal Order of Police President Armando Aguilar says that cop had no choice but to shoot when he found a naked man chewing away at another man's face.
Had his face completely eaten from the top of his forehead to almost his jaw. It wasn't just that he was being bit, it's that the person was actually swallowing pieces of his face.
His cannibalistic attacker unfazed by the officer's commands to stop.
When the police approached him, he turned around and growled and kept attacking the victim on the floor.
That's when he says the officer shot him.
The initial shots had no effect. He had to repeatedly shoot him about 4 times until the man collapsed.
The naked attacker now dead on the sidewalk. There he is on the left. His now faceless victim lay on the ground next to him, likely writhing in pain as sources say he no longer had eyes or a nose.
I can only imagine by talking to the officer, I see that he's totally traumatized. It was like something out of a horror movie.
Aguilar says this is the worst out of about 4 similar cases in Dade County to happen recently. In other incidents, the people have admitted to taking a new strain of what they're calling bad LSD.
Their body temperature reaches such a high degree that they have to take all their clothes off because they're basically melting from the inside.
He says that was the case just blocks away on Bayshore Drive. That was in March when a bloody naked man who had been hit by a cab growled at police and showed superhuman strength when they tried to help him.
There was more than 10 or 15 officers on the scene, and even after they tasered the man 2 or 3 times, he was still able to take a baton away from one of our officers and severely damage her arm.
Scary stuff. Now, I'm told that man from the March incident did survive. As for the man related to this incident off the MacArthur Causeway who was attacked in the face, we know he is currently hospitalized in critical condition. Live in downtown Miami, Tiffany Helberg, CBS 4 News Tonight.
Unbelievable to hear it all. Thanks for that, Tiffany.